All right, guys, welcome to We Are Soccer. Today I'm joined by my good friend Aaron Byrd. Y'all know Aaron. He runs Next Level Training with a bunch of other trainers who are some of the best in the nation. Listen, it's no joke when I tell you that Aaron and his guys are the best because the coaches and the players from around the country come here to train with him. So we're going to talk a little bit today with Aaron, see the difference compared to other training companies, and just kind of chit chat here. Aaron, welcome, man. Appreciate you joining us.
Thanks so much, man. I'm a big fan of the show, dude.
I appreciate it. Love it. I love that you've helped us out as well. Listen, I'm going to jump right in. I just watched you coach down there and train for 20 minutes, and it's not just, hey, this is how you pass a ball, and this is how you trap a ball, or this is how you shoot a ball. You're getting these kids to try to understand the game and how the game needs to be played and the nuances of the game. These are things I'm not seeing any other trainers around here, or clubs for that matter, really teach these kids. And it seems to be a defining aspect of Next Level Training. Am I wrong? Am I reading this wrong?
Look, I put a lot of pride in our program, right? In our product. And that is not specifically technical development, right? Technical development has a meaning of skill development, trapping, passing, dribbling. But the game of soccer is so much more than that. As you guys know, you talk every week on the show about these Premier League teams, the Bundesliga, all these teams. Everybody's good. Everybody is technically proficient at that level, right? So it's now, how are you successful within those technical moments? Do you understand when to use those technical skills and why they're relevant in that moment of the game? Because we have a lot of technically skilled players, but do they understand when that skill is relevant to be used? So what we see a lot, and it's no secret, I was never the big, strong, fast athlete. I had to learn to understand the game, which to me is the biggest asset I possess to this day, is my brain and my eyes. So if I can get kids that are athletic, fast, big, strong, to rely on that secondary and use their brain and skill first, and then you have that speed power as a bonus, you're almost unstoppable. Too many kids today rely on speed and power, but it's at the wrong moment of the game. And you're seeing that, and I'm not trying to go on to a different topic, but you saw that with our U.S. women. We've been so successful because we have been able to overpower everybody. In the air, over top, direct. You can't do that. And it showed that in that final third, we were technically deficient. We weren't creative on the ball or off the ball. And you can say, yeah, we had a lot of chances against Sweden, but over a 4-game stint, we were not good. So our objective is to teach these players how to play within the game, within those moments. The technical skill is the technical skill, but if you don't know how to play this game, the technical skill is irrelevant.
The brain, I tell people all the time, there's a reason that a 5'6", 130-pound man is considered the best player to ever play this sport. Lionel Messi, obviously, because of his brain. Not the quickest, not the fastest, not the strongest, not the biggest, just his brain. So when I see you teaching kids out here that have the skill, have the quickness, have the pace, have the technical skill, you're teaching them the thinking side of the game, it blows me away because, as you and I have talked, we're pretty much the same age, and when we were growing up, we never had this. These kids are so lucky to have this in their backyard, that you, Renato, Dylan, Scotty Wright, you guys have grown up playing the game, and you were all super good players because of your brain and able to think the game. These kids are coming here. And I wish I was 15 years old right now and I could come here and be like, teach me, man, because what you're doing is outstanding. And I want to give you a little example. A couple of months ago, you and I got together and I was watching one of your training sessions. And you told me there's 5 girls here. Pick the one who has only been here for a couple of sessions. And I watched and I said, I think it's her. And you said, well, why? And I go, because every other player, when she comes to the ball, she scans over her shoulder and looks around and then receives and knocks it back. The one girl didn't do that. And you said, bingo, she hasn't picked up on the little pieces. So 4 out of 5 players in a training session were scanning over their shoulder. The one who was actually a really good player just wasn't. And you told me, you go, I'm going to make sure she knows this, and you just wait. You said in a couple of months, she will do this automatically. And it just shows that not only are you teaching kids to kick a ball, to trap a ball, you're showing them the little things of the game that you need to be successful. It was amazing to me. It was amazing to see, man.
Well, I mean, it's a minor thing, right? And getting a kid to scan their shoulder is simplistic. It is simple because any coach can say, scan your shoulder. When I started Next Level Training 15 years ago, I was the only one. I was the only trainer in the game. There were some other coaches that did private lessons with their kids, but there was no other trainer. Now, today, as you know, there's 12 of them around here, local, within a 50-mile radius. And with social medias, with people posting, with everything, and with you guys, videos, everything, you can see everybody's stuff and do that. It's become, and I'm talking around the country. You can watch trainers from New York, from North Carolina, from Florida, from Georgia, from California, from everywhere. And every single person can put together a drill. Every human being, you right now could go put together a drill because you've played soccer at a high level. But do you understand what is wrong? Prime example. I just had a high-level player, college friend of mine, brought his daughter in from Toronto. He played at the highest of high levels after college, still plays at a very high level. His daughter's 11, plays at a good level in Toronto. She came in for 3 training sessions, Friday to Saturday. I told her some things, and her mind was like, you could just see she was scatterbrained. And he goes, we've trained with every trainer local in Toronto, and we've never heard the things that you told her detail-wise about body mechanics, balance, body shape, her touch, her plant foot, this and that. And I go, but that's the difference. Everybody that played soccer can put together a drill, but do you know how to fix what's wrong? Because high-level players, and I said to him, I go, think about this. I was a high-level player. You were a high-level player. And I said this to him. I go, when you took a bad touch, you were just like, dang it, I just took a bad touch. But do you know why? Why did that ball go out of bounds on your touch? Why did that ball bounce up? Why did that ball do this? Because that's the issue is I can put together a session, but if you don't know how to fix what's wrong, you're just running through a training session. And that's what I see in all this stuff around here because when you talked about us 15 years ago, soccer has become a business. So all these people say, man, I played soccer in college. I played soccer at a semi-pro level. I played here. I can charge kids $100, $80 an hour. I could do small groups, 35, and charge people because my resume says that I did this at this, and it's astronomical. And now there's people that are paying money all over, and I'm not just saying Michigan, all over the country, and they don't know that they're not getting results. It's like me. If I went to a yoga studio, I don't know yoga, but when I pay money to a yoga studio, I am under the assumption you know what you're doing. I could go there for 6 months and never know that the way they were teaching me how to do XXX was not fully proper.
Yep. Yeah.
But that's the game. That's soccer today. That's the industry.
That's the game. You're right. Well, I can tell you right now, your resume speaks for itself. 1, you've played at such a high level. 2, you've been doing this for years and years and years. And I mean, listen, I'm gonna throw it out there. There are some huge names in U.S. soccer that are coming here to Michigan to train with you, right? I've seen Kellen Acosta here, U.S. men's national team World Cup player, Kellen Acosta, coming here to train with you. By the way, super nice guy. Pictures with all the kids, signed things, super human being. DeJuan Jones, obviously local kid, trains with you, comes back, super nice kid, again, U.S. men's national team player. Why? Because he comes here and he trains and he focuses. And one of my new favorite players over the past year, Chloe Ricketts, the youngest player to sign and play in the NWSL, the youngest player to score in the NWSL, and an absolute baller of a player. I spoke to her, I've interviewed her. She gives you so much credit, and it's deserved because she says she would not be where she is without next level training in Aaron Byrd. So I'm telling you right now, you're doing something right, and these players are coming back, and they're telling the world about you. I know there's more. I absolutely know there's more. Listen, you're doing what people wish or when they knew. As I said, it's the mental side of the game. These players that I just mentioned, they all have this skill. They've all got the ability. They don't come here to learn how to kick a ball. They come here because of the small things, the nuances of the game. Where do you go from here, man? Are you just, because the game's evolving, I know you're training and you're looking into more. Where do we go from here?
Well, I mean, the luxury I have, like you've already mentioned, is I've got incredible people around me. Scotty, Renato, Dylan, Connor, Bilal, right? I don't say this lightly. I would take my newest guy from learning under us and watching and seeing him train over any other person I've seen, local and far away, that runs their own thing. My newest and sixth guy I would take over anybody because I've watched him compared to other stuff. And that is a huge luxury because my guys that come in, zero ego, they start fresh, they want to learn, they're great people, and they share the same passion of teaching, right? Not just teaching, like you said, we're teaching the mental side of this game. And I had a parent, and I next level training, We Are Soccer, Nationals, Jags, Vardar, Hawks, you're not for everybody. I don't need everybody. But the best of the best come to us. So these players, when you talk about the mental side, I've heard a parent talk about other companies and they're like, oh, it's my kid loves it because they come out feeling so confident and so good. This guy's so complimentary, this, that, the other thing. And I'm like, this game is not nice. At a high level, this game is not nice, right? And I am a super nice dude. Yeah. And I am very, very, very nice to my athletes until I need to be the other side of that. Yep. Because the game doesn't tell you what happens in the college level now when you're the 1%, 2%, 3%. So if I don't prep you for that, the game is not. Right. And you can go to somebody and they can tell you you're nice and you're great and you look good and you're my favorite and blah, 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 blah. And then you go to college and you're not even in the dressing 18 and you're like,
kicked in the pants. And
what the hell? I've never been told this.
Yep.
So we are prepping these kids for life, for what is life. I will be your biggest advocate, your biggest fan. I will be your biggest supporter, and I will never desert you. But I'm going to be hard on you, and I'm going to teach you what is real in this game and life because I know what the next step is. Because and this is not a knock on anybody, there's no other trainers here that have worked with World Cup players, Olympians, national team players. Like, this is what we do at the level we do it. And, you know, Scotty and I were just talking about this, is Scotty and Renato have both been close to 14, 15 years with me, full time. We were talking about this. I said, it's funny because we are so busy. I mean, it's 10:30 on a Thursday night. I had camp at 8 a.m. in East Lansing, and I've been here. It's a 14-hour day, but I love it. And now I'm doing this. I go, Scotty and I were talking about this the other day, and Renato, we were sitting there. I go, we never reflect really on where we started and where we've came, right? Because many years ago, we had Christina Murillo, who was a girl that played at Michigan, was the captain, and she ended up playing in a World Cup. And we were like, oh my God, that's so cool. We had our first World Cup athlete that we trained, and this was many years ago. And I'm like, what a milestone. And then you get your pros and you get this. But the World Cup is the World Cup. Yeah. I mean, that is the one every 4 years tournament. And that was the girl we had in it. And then, 4 years back, we had one or two or three that played. This past World Cup, 8 players
Wow.
that were in our program,
Wow.
8 women that played in the World Cup that were in there, and we're like,
That's incredible. It's absolutely incredible.
the girl from New Zealand,
Right.
the New Zealand girl flew here to train for a week before the World Cup to fly back to New Zealand and train. Like, it's just like you don't even think about that stuff.
But you're not even like, you're just so focused on training, you're so focused on doing your work and moving from day to day that you don't realize that a player flew here to train with you to prepare for the World Cup. That is absolutely incredible.
But it's the thing that, like, we don't even think about it. It's like you show up to do your job every day, just like I did with my buddy from Toronto's daughter who's 10, 11 years old.
Right.
Like, to me, it's no different. It's my job. It's
Right.
the passion. It's
Right.
the, like, my job is to prepare her for the World Cup, and then my job is to prepare her to go back to be ready for her U11 game. Like,
Right.
and the only difference is in the mindset of a kid. Like, I train an 11-year-old mentally different than I do a World Cup player,
Sure.
but the standards don't change.
Right.
Right?
I can tell you though, so my kids are into soccer, not quite as you and I are, but they were in and out of it. And then I brought them to some camps with Next Level, and I signed up. We do the weekly Thursday or Friday session, and it's taken off. Now there's a little bit more passion. They're not saying, oh, do I have to go to practice today? They're like, oh, hey, Next Level's training. Can we leave a little early and go watch? My kids are really into it. So one, yes, you're training them, you're putting them at a high level, but the kids are enjoying it too. And you guys probably don't even realize that, but the kids are really into it. And, I've got an 8-year-old and a 10-year-old who, like I said, they were into soccer, but now they're like into it. And they love coming to Next Level training. And I love soccer, so I love watching my kids play soccer. So it's fun for me. It's like a win-win, right?
Yep.
So you're doing like this awesome work with these little kids and these professionals. It's absolutely amazing to see. I gotta be honest, it's one of the most, listen, I've known you for, must be going on almost 15, 20 years now. We've played against each other, we've played with each other, and I specifically remember when I heard, oh, hey, Aaron's going out and he's being a soccer trainer. I go, that's great. That's gonna be awesome. I mean, good for him. I'm sitting at a freaking desk typing away. He's doing that. Who knows where it'll take him? And it is absolutely stunning to see that, like, I knew you were going to be successful at it, but this is beyond successful. This is World Cup players coming to see you, and it's just like crazy, man. It is awesome. And you're teaching 8, 9, 10, 11-year-old kids the next day and treating them the same way. I mean, it's crazy. It's awesome.
But that, to me, is my escape. Like, that is my fun. Like, when people ask me, like, when are you going to get off the field more? When are you going to get to step away? I'm like, I don't want to.
Right.
I could have been off tonight, but I enjoy it. Like, I had a private lesson with 2 little 9-year-old Jags girls. Cutest little girls, smiled the whole time, joked with them, laughed, but they're dripping sweat, and you get them to, like, have fun while they're doing it. You almost trick them into working hard.
Yep.
Right? And then it's like you go to a class of 10 to 13-year-olds, and then 7 to 9-year-olds, and then our midfield forward 13 plus, and then the college kids.
Right.
So your brain has to be able to change from a 9-year-old to end with your high-level college prep group. But again, that's what makes it fun for me, is getting that 9-year-old to fall in love with the game.
Yep.
Right? To fall in love.
Yep.
And that's what makes our job fun, is because, let's be honest, and again, it's not a critique, it's most of these kids don't love the game because of what U.S. Soccer has done to us as a country. And I'm not saying it's U.S. Soccer's fault, but when you mandate these kids 4 days a week to practice, they travel the world for games. Look, I got an 8-year-old who is obsessed with football, obsessed. YouTube videos, sports cards, play. But every 5-6 days, he's like, I just want a day off. Like, I just don't want to play.
Yeah.
I want to watch TV. I want to ride my bike. I want to do this. And I had a mom today talk to me about, she's like, hey, we haven't been in 2.5 months. And I said, why? She goes, well, when summer hits, we move up to the west side of the state. We got a cottage on Lake Michigan. And I'm like, you can do that with your 9-year-old now? And she's like, well, it's getting harder. We're not able to do it as much. And I go, let me tell you a story. I had an incredible career. I ended up in the Hall of Fame in my college. I had a 12-year pro career. I played pro indoor for years, and I loved every minute of it. I didn't even play travel soccer until I was 13 years old.
Right.
My mom was a teacher. Summer hit June 12th. My grandfather built a cottage up in Harbor Springs. I moved up there. I did not come back until Labor Day week because school started that Monday or Tuesday after Labor Day. These parents now are so bought in that if my kid doesn't start at 6, 7, 8, I get people that call me to do private lessons with their 4-year-old, and I say, no, just go play with them in the back.
Right.
I'm not going to take your money for a 4-year-old.
Right.
Go play. Just go in the backyard and play with them. That is so. This game should be a game.
Right.
And when you start structuring kids at 4, 5, 6, and they're playing club soccer year round at 8. And you're telling them you better be on the high level top team, this. At 12 years old, that kid could come to you and say, I hate this game. It's not fun. And that's what U.S. Soccer has done is we've made this such a business, which helps me. I'm not going to say it's not.
Yeah.
It helps me.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I'm sitting there going, when I grew up, I practiced twice a week.
Yep.
We practiced twice a week. And I had 5 days to do my own fitness, to do my own technical training, to do my own workout, to do whatever, play basketball, play baseball with my friends, do this. And if I came to soccer unprepared, my coach didn't play me.
Right. It showed. Yep.
Right? Like your job, and that's what I say to like all my college kids are like, we have to be back 3 weeks early to do captain's practices and fitness. Mark Krikorian. I don't know if you know the name Mark Krikorian. Mark Krikorian is the general manager of the Washington Spirit who called me about Chloe Ricketts. Used to coach at Florida State. Coached there forever. One of the greatest men, human beings, role models I've ever seen. When I had his Florida State girls, Dana Castellanos, Yuji Zhao, Malia Berkeley, Jalen Howell, Gabby Carl, when I had all those girls, he said, they are yours up until the day before preseason starts. If they don't come in fit, that's on them.
Right.
I don't need them back here 3 weeks early. The only coach that's ever said that. And how many national championships did he win and number one seeds did he have?
Quite a few.
And now all these coaches want their kids back 3-4 weeks early. And then you don't understand why they're back 4 weeks early. They do their preseason for 3 weeks, and by the end of the season, they're burnt out.
Yep.
You don't give them a break.
Yep.
You don't let them come back and say, I just want to be like at next level. Like you said about your kids. This is these kids' safe place.
Yep.
They love it.
Yep.
It's fun. It's why all the pros come back. It's why all the high-level college, I mean, the Florida State, the Tennessees, the Virginias, the Dukes, the North Carolinas, the Michigan, that's why they all come here. And then they all train together.
Yep.
And they love it. It is fun. It is hard. It is challenging. And oh, by the way, ask any of those players when they go back to run their fitness tests, they win every single one of them.
Yep.
Because they're prepared. But now they're having to leave 3-4 weeks early, and they're burnt out.
Right. It's all about having fun. Like I said earlier, like my kids absolutely love it. They don't actually realize they're playing soccer. They're playing soccer for the entire time they're with you. They're learning and at a high level, and they're just having fun. It's fun. It's fun for the kids, and it has to be. And I think that's a problem with U.S. soccer today is we've got all these players, the men and the women, who it's a job, and they're told what to do. They're not making decisions on the field. It's not fun. When you and I we're playing, you and I are very similar players. Yep. We love to be creative. We love to dice people. We love to go at it, have fun with it. That's what we do. You don't see that in U.S. soccer a lot of the time these days, and it's a shame because I don't think these players have grown up having fun with it like you and I did.
But they're growing up without a creative gene, without a creative mind. I had a guy, and I will not name the club. We work with every club, but I had a dad of a U9 team. Of a U9. So you're talking 8, 9-year-olds, 2014s, 15, whatever it is. And he's like, these kids are so joysticked. He's like, they're told where to pass the ball, when to pass the ball, where to move, how to do this. And I'm sitting there going, like, I understand instruction, but instruction should never be do this, do this, do this, do this. Here's ideas.
Yep.
And if you choose the wrong one, I'll explain to you why I thought it was the wrong one. And here's maybe some things you could have tried, but that doesn't happen. Right? Like,
Yep.
I mean, we worked up in a camp in East Lansing this morning. Me, Renato, and Bilal were up there this morning. And during the scrimmage, I stopped it and I said, I don't want to see anybody just kick the ball again. Like, I want everybody to trap and get your head up and try to make a pass. And my coach said we have to kick it away if it gets by the goal. And I'm like, this is a 3v3 scrimmage. Like, I don't care if you lose the ball here, but that's programmed in their head. That little girl goes, my coach says if it gets by the goal, I have to kick it away. And I'm like, they take things so literal. So they can't even now solve their own issue of maybe if you'd have trapped that ball and passed it wide, she could have dribbled up and scored. But in your mind, that ball came close to the goal and you just kicked it. And it's like trying to get these kids to understand. And I think that's a big problem with these kids playing growing up today is they don't play soccer. They play scared to not let their coach down and get in trouble.
Yep.
So how many times do you hear you go to a game? Play simple. Play the way you face. Play 1 and 2 touch. Don't play square. Well, what if the situation called for that? Like, what if when you said play the way you face, I could have stepped over, turned, got up the line, served the ball, and scored? And it's hard because coaches have a hard job because they want to feel like they're doing their job. I'm teaching your kid. I'm coaching. I'm engaged. And if I don't say anything, I stand back and let you just play free and solve it, then coaches say he just sits in the chair and doesn't say anything and doesn't coach them at all and do this and that. So it is a hard job. I get it. But as coaches, we can do a better job of letting kids learn, not telling them how to play the game, letting them learn. It's like you just said you heard downstairs 20 minutes. I didn't tell you what to do. I said, here's 3 options on this situation. Ball's there, defender's here. Here's what I want. You have to read it based on what the defender does. I didn't say you do this. It's you have to read. Because I can't tell you what to do because the game changes.
Yeah.
I mean, you played soccer at a high level. How many set plays did you have?
None, right?
Corner kicks.
Right, that's
2
it.
back posts, near posts, dump,
That's it.
whatever.
I mean, literally.
There's no set plays.
Right.
And that's what they tried to dictate how you play, and you can't do that.
Can't do that in this sport. Absolutely can't. You can run plays in basketball.
When
You can run plays in
young
hockey.
kids,
You can't do it in
ruins
soccer.
the game. When you do it in
absolutely
young
ruins it.
kids, it ruins the game.
Yep. Aaron, we could talk for days on this stuff. Absolutely days. We're going to have to do it again. We've been too long without talking to you. We need to talk again because I've got a lot of other stuff to talk about. But for now, we probably should wrap it up. Listen, man, I continue to be impressed by you and your guys, everybody who works for you. I continue to be impressed just watching you guys coach little kids and like what I just saw down there, the high-level college players. You're able to give them new ideas. You're able to help them be better players. And those kids down there played for an hour and a half, and they wanted to do more. They wanted to keep going. Unfortunately, it is 10:30 at night, but that is the mark of a good trainer right there. I'm telling you, the kids were soaking in sweat, but they were soaking up what you were telling them, and you could tell they just wanted to go do more. It's too late, kids. Go to bed. So listen, man, I appreciate you joining us. We're going to do this again. I appreciate all the love and support you've shown to We Are Soccer as well, man. Thank you so much.
Oh, man, you guys, you got to keep spreading the word of the game and the local soccer stuff because there's so much stuff out there now that parents can get overwhelmed. So taking knowledgeable people that give parents, it's like if I was to go buy a generator, I would go to somebody that has one and ask them how they like it. How do they do this? But I need somebody that's got expertise in it. And that's the problem is when there's so many options now out there, it's like, I don't know better as a parent. Most of these parents didn't play.
Yeah.
So they think when they spend money going somewhere, it's like, I'm getting my kid. And then the kid gets cut the next year and they're like, well, wait a minute, I've been training so hard. And it's like,
going to the wrong place. Yeah,
Well,
gotta come here, man. Those parents
like I
gotta
said,
bring
we're
them here.
not for everybody, but the people that want to grow the proof is in the players, right? It's who comes out.
100%. All right, buddy. Thank you. Appreciate it. We'll check back in soon.
Awesome, man. Thanks for having me.